Good afternoon and hello, everyone. My name is Rich Longo, and I'll be your host. Thank you for joining us for another Flycast Partners webinar. Today's webinar is about EasyVista and what can EasyVista do for you. And it's presented by our very own Stephen Rast. Now, Stephen is an IT service management SE with over 25 years of experience. During this time, he has been a trainer, consultant, and worked in support center environments. 19 years of his career was spent with BMC software in many customer-centric roles. Stephen has worked with many different types of IT tools over the last 25 years and continues to learn new tools and has watched them evolve firsthand. He started with Flycast Partners. I think he's been a couple of years now, and he's helped us with numerous products. Before we get started, Stephen, let me introduce our organization. Flycast Partners is here to deliver a seriously amazing IT experience. Founded and staffed by personnel that have many years of experience in IT space, we took the best ideas from these collective experiences and added the best components necessary to grow and become a leading value-added reseller. We offer best-in-class implementation services and training in ITSM, ITAM, workload automation, capacity optimization, and enterprise service management consulting, all using ITIL best practices. Our professional services can easily scale up or down in order to meet the IT needs of any organization, regardless of size, complexity, or budgetary restrictions. We offer implementation services both on-site and remote, as well as training to reinforce your company's long-term IT success. Our ongoing remote administration and support service offerings will enable your organization to focus on your normal day-to-day operations, saving you both time and precious money. Please visit our website at www.flycastpartners.com or feel free to reach out to us directly at 844-FLYCAST, that's 844-359-2278, or chat with our folks that are on the chat. We have IT experts waiting to chat with you on our website. I encourage you to utilize our website for researching those industry white papers and data sheets, training that is available from ITIL to ITSM and ITAM tools, assistance with your professional services or remote administration, enterprise service management and workload automation offerings, as well as capacity optimization. I encourage you to take particular attention to our webinars page and sign up for webinars that you feel that may benefit you or people that you work with, and share those links. Take a look at some of our people, process, and technology offerings, and look at the various bits of software solutions that we offer at Flycast Partners that you think may enable your company to run more efficiently and less expensively. So at the end of today's presentation, with the time that we have allocated, Stephen will be taking questions from the audience.
Welcome, everybody. Like all webinars, we've got a little bit of PowerPoint, and then we'll jump right into the product. As Richard introduced me, I've got a lot of lifetime experience in IT and IT service management, and we'll be talking about EasyVista today. Very much so. Like you said, if you think of a question during the presentation, what if, a how-to, anything like that, definitely type it into the chat, and that way we can address it at the end. So when talking about EasyVista, EasyVista is a product that's been around for a while, and we'll address the history, but it's very much focused on addressing IT service management for the modern age. And that really comes through when you start looking at the feature functionality that they've built into a product that does have some legacy history to it, but very usable, very scalable for a lot of organizations. When we talk about it, it's a 20-plus year history. It's really started back in '88. 1,000-plus enterprise customers, over 6 million SaaS end users served through their environment. Very high renewal rate, and that's one of the things that they're very proud of as an organization, that people go with the product, they stick with the product. And even of that 2%, there's some of that they've said it really wasn't their choice, something else happened that guided them away from the product. So very nice in the market space, very well adopted. the NASCAR slide here, all sorts of different industries using the capabilities that are brought forward in EasyVista. Again, just pretty much addressing everybody that's out there in one way or another. One of their key components that, again, speaks to their modernization of IT and IT service management is kind of the mobile first or mobile present environment where end users, especially new end users into IT, are oftentimes using mobile technology more than email or other tools. So giving your end users that functionality that they're already enabled with and capable of using. Everybody can Google search, everybody can use Amazon. Making your own IT as accessible as those tools that people use at home is one of the real benefits to EasyVista. And it's, form development and everything is platform ready. So you're not developing custom views when you're developing any of these streams. What you see on self-service is what's going to be enabled in the mobile device. So it cuts down on a lot of administration. Again, the history of them, founded back in '88, inventory software management is their legacy. And for a lot of clients we talk to who have a very strong need in asset management, EasyVista is very appealing because of that. That legacy they're built on is different than some organizations that started out with IT requesting and ticketing. So they have a very strong asset component in their structure that is, again, very appealing for clients. Over the years, they've worked in other feature functionality, actually enabled with 15 idle processes in the application, and we'll take a look at that. Ever expanding. Every year, they've got new deliverables, new technology, new things they're bringing to the marketplace. Even some new announcements that are going to be coming out shortly from them on some enhancements that they've put into the upcoming releases. If you want to validate the information, here's a couple good places to go. Of course, Gartner is always good. 451 Research. One of my favorites, G2. Not what industry says about it, but what users say about it. It's kind of, as somebody said, the Yelp for software. So a great resource to find out what people who are actually using the application say, good, bad, or indifferent. Not just happy customers, successful ones. Once you're successful, happiness really does happen. So the key components to that are the onboarding with like Flycast, expert consultants coming in and taking your processes and delivering the foundation that you need in EasyVista, as well as the education and training so that you're enabled to manage and control that environment. We're always here to help, but you own it, and it is easy enough that you can manage and control it. Again, great support environment. I actually need to update this one because they are one of the few organizations that their support and their environment are SASE SOC 2 validated. So, within the component, you have the service manager. This is really the component that IT looks at, where you can do your requesting, your wizard, your automation, your workflows, and then the apps builder that we'll take a look at gives you that responsive design where my self-service is one view, whether it's on a mobile device, laptop, tablet, all that. Very highly configurable environment, probably one of the most capable environments, and I'll show you some of the examples of it. And again, with the easy-to-use mobile component, you're not only addressing just IT, because IT may be a starting point, but within any organization, there's always a need for other requesting to be handled, whether it's HR, facilities, anybody. Because if you're part of the business, you've probably got requests coming your way. All right, enough of the PowerPoint. One last slide. And that one really addresses the idle processes that are in the application. So let me expand this out. There we go. So when we talk about IT service management, at the core component in idle terms, service operation, event management, the notifications that stream in from your network monitoring tools to let you know something's not right. Your incident management, the break fix, get everybody back up and running. Problem management, why do we keep getting those incidents? And then, of course, request fulfillment, your service catalog, the I need something, I want something from your end users that you have to address. And oftentimes, the service catalog is the function you're looking for there. Change management under service transition, service and asset configuration, release and deployment, knowledge, all those are capabilities within EasyVista, along with the service catalog, service level, availability, continuity and capacity, financial and service portfolio. Like I said, 15 idle processes out of the total 26 gives you a very comprehensive tool that really can grow with you. A lot of organizations come in and they're like, well, we got incident and change we've got to address, and of course, asset and CMDB. What are we fixing? What are we repairing? And what are people calling about? But then there's always the ever-expanding, I need a little more, or I need this kind of capability. And when you get into that, you'll find that EasyVista oftentimes has that expanded role that IT needs to address already built into it. And let's take a look at the application. So I've logged in here as a technician. This is kind of what I'm going to look at most days. What I'm seeing here is a conversation that's going on, but as we kind of go around the information, I'm looking at a domain called USA. Just a functional, logical way to sort out the organization. Is it geographical? Is it by, location, region, or by function within the organization? You can kind of slice and dice it that way. I'm seeing right now a conversation board where we can post and chat information. If I'm looking at things that are in my queue, that's very easy because I can come in here and I can go look at requests or my incidents, things that are out there that are assigned to me and I need to work on that are in process. I can look at my history. I had that open, 30 minutes ago, 3 hours ago, and now the person's finally calling back. I want to really quickly be able to get back to that information. Down here at the bottom, we've got activities, things like my to-do list. What's out there that I need to work on? Or, what am I late on? Well, because of the color coding, I can kind of see that I'm late on both these requests. Not so good. What's out there, in this case, actions for my group. What's being worked on by my coworkers? What are things that maybe I can look at to take off from them and help with? And of course, any of the discussions, the active communication. The messaging here lets me see any major incidents or broadcast notifications that may be going out so that I know if there are any interruptions that are in the system or outages that happen. When I'm addressing a user, usually I use this quick call to go ahead and identify who's calling. I'll pick on my favorite person, Wanda. Just type in her name. Basically, AD information. You know who's calling? Well, I can go in here and request and see, oh, okay, it's Wanda Morley calling. I can see any open requests because she may be calling back about them. It's like, why have you forgotten me, Stephen? Well, I had to leave these open. So I can see any of the requests that are going on or log a new request. Very easy to access the initial request, see the details about Wanda, communicate back to her. If I need to send her an email or something, really just a click away. EasyVista does something very nice. It divides it from requester and recipient. So, you get those requests that come in on behalf of somebody. Great way to organize it. Their contact information, location, department. This is a very standard look and feel to the form. One of the things I always like to address is this everything you need? Do you need something more, or is there something on here that really doesn't relate to how you do business? If it's noise in that regard, get it off the form. We can see the information, how did it come in, is there a particular service, SLAs, impacts, and urgencies. Those drive my idle prioritization, any descriptions, and tools I may use, like if I'm going to assign it to somebody or resolve it or cancel it. If Wanda called back and said, never mind, I figured it out. Great, we've got it recorded, we've got that volume and everything, but it's not something we're going to take through all its life cycle and steps. As a technician, I've given my technician the ability to create new employees, course incidents, and service requests. Let's take a look at a service request. This is the service catalog. Same kind of view and perspective that an end user might have. What is somebody calling about? Is it a facilities issue, a legal, a piece of equipment? I can come in here, select from the catalog, and drill down into it. So if I need a new piece of equipment, like, yeah, I want a 3D printer. I would love to have a 3D printer. Probably burn through spools of the wire, but hey, great. Let me come in here and request it, add it to my shopping cart, brings that information in. If I had multiple things I needed to, I could do it, but I'm just going to create the request here for the 3D printer. Yep, that's what I want. Next. Create the request, tells me where it's going to go. I'll automatically approve it. Next. Oh, got to give it a manager. I'll have it go to Adam Andrew. Next. Get that approval done. Finish it off. Now, in that case, I selected a manager. Much more ideal would be, who my first line manager is. You got it out of AD, it's automatically populated. That's there for me to select because I may route it to different people for different scenarios. Simple. Same thing if somebody called up and said, oh, I forgot and I'm not in front of a computer right now or even in front of my phone, let me call the service desk. If they were actually using a mobile device or accessing it through something like a self-service, this is kind of the experience they can have. And I say kind of because I'll show you how varied that experience could be. I'm logged in here as Jennifer, so I can go to the store. I can see what's out there for me to request, whether it be software or hardware. Get a more abbreviated view. That same 3D printers out there or workstation, laptop, sales information, same types of questions will be asked and information gathered as part of it. I can also look at my history. What are my open requests and who's been working on them and what's been done, and see that information. Again, carefully contained information, not all the notes that go back and forth between technicians, just what they need to know about that. Any of my service requests, and I pick on Jennifer a lot, so she's been asking for iPads and new keyboards for quite some time. But again, same types of processes here, anything that is an approval. Now, in approval, in this scenario is not me approving my own request, it's me approving any of the incidents or service requests I've had. Has it been done to my satisfaction? So this is where I can come in here and say, oh yeah, that was completed, and that's great. Not everybody does that, but again, I can give a response, that feedback, information, describe the call handler, really good. Sign here. That's about what it looks like when I sign for UPS. So, yep. Get the request in. Get that information in that IT is looking for. Again, a lot of organizations look at that as part of their quality improvement. You know, what are people saying? Are they saying good things? Are they saying bad things? Is there some sort of response or something we could do better as IT to help our end users? Knowledge base, of course, great. You know, if it's been asked and answered, give them the resources, just like you would ask to go to Google something. They can come in here, see the information, any of the details on it. Go in and do a search. These are just some of the FAQs that have bubbled up to the top, that if I'm looking for something about printing and printers, you know, broad search here, looking at all the knowledge articles out there. So it may be information pertinent to something about a new printer that's come in or a new copier, and you've already got the knowledge out there. You've got the links to download any drivers made available. Just makes life simpler for the end user and not necessarily have to call into IT and wait to discuss something. Now, we talked about the initial look and feel of this. I said it kind of looks like this. This is one that's out of the box. If I go in here, you can see some of the various versions of this that are in it. Here's one example. Yeah. Same kind of data information, but this was looking at it from the perspective of what a college student or a parent might want to encounter. You know, financial, bookstore, IT, these are all the various requests and links to knowledge and other components in it. This can also have, let's see, different feel here from a business perspective. You know, am I looking for HR services, IT, facility, legal? Same service catalog, same sort of requesting, but what is it I need? You know, hey, I need catering because I've just requested a, you know, conference room. We're going to be in there all day. I want to make sure that, you know, we've got coffee in the morning and pastries, and we can schedule everything we need for being in there an entire day. Again, it's a request, non-IT, but it's a request that you can handle through EasyVista. There we go. Lots of variations. These variations can even address a look and feel for an IT dashboard. What major incidents? What's our backlog? Open service requests. Links into news and information. My camera's offline right now, but usually that's looking into a server room for me. Another example of that would be taking information that's part of it, what IT does, and turning it into a dashboard. What's going on? What's our customer sat? What's our request call log? What are people even calling us about? That kind of information in detail as part of what you can have examined in the service apps. I'm going to close a few of those down, and I am going to log out, because I'm going to go in now not as a user, that as my admin and show you a couple examples of some of the creativity that's in here. This is the one I think that just absolutely inspires me. The behind the scenes on this code-wise is HTML. So without knowing HTML, I can develop and customize all those screens. If you've got somebody who's got that creative capability and knows some HTML, this is an example of kind of what you can do. This was a mock-up for one of our universities to simplify that interface down to, I need something, I have an idea, it's broken, or I'm looking for knowledge. So very much it opens up the capabilities that you have in an organization to deliver and have very enhanced experience to your end users. There are a couple others in here that are also ideas that you might have if you have like a lobby and want some information in there. Let me pause that. You know, real live streaming, CNN or other news branches that you may want in there, information scrolling about what's happening in the world. I also see a lot of tickers in there for marketing or market. Well, it's in French, but this is a field service tech app version. So I've got people who are out there in the field, they need to navigate to a location. You as an end user may even want to know how close they are to you. Well, you know, we're looking here in Paris and where a technician is, any of the actions that are open for them, and again, other communication that's going on for it. So hopefully that gives you an idea of the capability of what can be done, especially in just the self-service venue. Dashboard for my incidents, how many are open, closed. As this dashboard appears, yes, I can have much more graphical view, but this is very interactive data to see what is that 1258 incidents made up of? What are my trends that are happening? You know, if I'm looking at this more as a morning report and going, how many calls weren't resolved yesterday? How many new are in? What's in the queue? What's happening? This gives me a great perspective on that information. Where are they coming from? And again, it's in a dashboard for me, so I don't have to go look at a static report that was printed off and is aged already. A lot of these are ideas that are either from clients or, again, ideas from EasyVista as to approach you may want to take on what you're delivering to your end user. Go back and look at it from the technician perspective and kind of peruse through this a little different. I'm going to log out as my technician. I'm going to go in as an admin, because this is going to allow you to see a lot more of what's in there. We saw from the technician, you know, the service requesting, the incident management. Well, if I'm an admin, this is where I may be in here for doing other things like change requesting or project management. This is one of the things I'm seeing creep into a lot of ITSM requesting now. It's, yeah, we need incident, problem, change, CMDB, but we need better project management tools when we're talking about delivering the long-term things that IT is doing, delivering new components into the environment or long-term software upgrades or infrastructure upgrades. They're needing that project management capability, all part of it. Under operation, then if we go into home, we can look and see, again, incidents, licenses, contracts, my department, my employees. You'll see a lot of replication of this information because as an admin, I'm looking at this view in several different perspectives. Discovery, your information that's out there, your inventory, which again is going to be under my asset management. So what's my equipment, my licenses. This is all part of it. My catalogs, reports, definitely reports are part of this application. We see them in 3 different veins. We see them in things like my incidents. So if I go in here and I look at things that are out there for me or assigned to me, that view is actually a report. It's a manipulable view of what's happening. So if I go in here and go, my incidents, this information can be filtered, view it in different ways, looking at the information, depending on the way I want to see it, I can handle that and filter it out. You can also look at the reports. So if I'm in here and now let me go operation, reports, we'll look at EasyVista reports, and we'll look at reports and incident resolution time, one of the standard reports in here. So broken by category, I can look at the time spent on it. Ooh, that's really exaggerated. I may need to go close this. This isn't a list view. Of course, I can look at it in a graphical view, that same information, and go back to list, see any of those resolution times broken down by incident, who's working on what, and access that information. There is a 3rd level of reporting, and that's kind of what we saw in those dashboards, where, yes, I can take the data that's already in here and represent it into those dashboards that we see in service apps. The 4th level is if I need to access it through some sort of reporting component, business objects or any other tools that are third-party, the data is accessible because I may be merging data between my telephony system and my ITSM system to bring together a really comprehensive picture of what's happening with call volumes. Now, asset management, again, what are we looking at? Inventory items, items on loan. We can see it broken down in this case by geography, so assets in North America, in USA, in, let's say, a particular office, the Miami office in Building 1. That level of granularity. It's not that we just have an asset out there. We know where that asset is. We know where it resides. We know who's using it. All the information. So I've drilled down completely to room 101, what's in room 101 and who's using it, kind of detail and information. And if we go examine it, like I said, very strong asset infrastructure if you're looking for that capability. So the details on it, financial, chargeback, invoicing, history, installed software on this computer, other users who may have access to it, contracts on it, pending contracts, very comprehensive, history of changes and several other historical items and details. So you know who's called, what they've called about, what's been done to that asset over its life cycle. Transition management, knowledge articles, building and creating those, release management is in here too. And you'll see other components. Design management, your service levels, your capabilities, your suppliers and inventory, strategy, logistics, invoices, budgetary, the extended CMDB. So asset management and CMDB are kind of separate venues in EasyVista. A lot of tools combine them. It's all one, right? Not always, no. Your CMDB, of course, going to be addressing, your CIs, your servers, your background infrastructure, your definitive media libraries, things like that. So it does break it out component-wise from what the end users are consuming and what it is that IT builds in it. Continual improvement is also part of the reporting aspect of it. So if I'm looking at here something like incidents, and I want to look at what my reporting aspect is on that. You know, got a dashboard on them. What's my call history? What's my trending like? Late incidents, resolution times, and again, part of that continual improvement process, a lot more detail and information and some of the other reporting aspect of it. Project management, like I said, is in here. Your projects, your portfolios, the time and effort that's being worked on these, so you know what kind of resource utilization is part of it. With that, I want to make sure we address some time for any questions or how-tos that we would have, and make sure everybody can get those in. Rich, anything queued up in the Q&A?
I don't have any questions as of yet. Folks, if you have any questions, please take a moment and type them in the Q&A section. We'll go ahead and get Stephen to answer them for you, and take advantage of the wealth of knowledge that Stephen has on the EasyVista product. It's a great ITSM tool with a lot of other capabilities that most people aren't aware of, and it can actually be a facing tool for older ITSM tools, and most people aren't aware of that as well. So definitely an interesting, it's a little different than most, you know, how all the ITSM tools out there are kind of, you know, they all do the same thing, but EasyVista goes out of the box a little bit on a couple things. So if you have questions, this is a good time to ask them. Did you have anything else you wanted to add, Stephen?
Not at this time. I'm open for some good questions. Let's spark up the conversation and find out what people are thinking about EasyVista, what their how-tos might be.
Folks, if you have any questions, this is your time to do it. And one of the things that I find interesting about this tool is that if you have an older, let's say a remedy type of a situation going on, and it's like embedded in your organization, this tool can actually be the face of that and integrate and be what everybody sees. And can you talk a little bit about that, or do you want to share any details about that at all, Stephen?
Sure. One of the things that we see with a lot of applications that I think EasyVista does better than anybody really is this, the apps, these dashboards, and this kind of interface. So many of the applications that are out there are so conforming. Here's what we're going to give you. You know, we're going to give you this block view, bar on the right-hand side, put your incidents over here, let your users come in, and this is what they get. Sometimes that's simple and great, and that may be a good first step for users, but I think it confines some organizations where they're going, well, you know, that look and feel is going to last for a little while, and then IT changes. And they may want to change and reflect what's different through self-service. The more capabilities that they're offering up to end users, the better aspect of it. And I think really with this self-service and the ability to go in here and change or modify any of these is very, very, oh, wrong one. Let me edit this way. Very much brings a different kind of presence to organizations. You know, we're talking about the service catalog, but really this is your digital service management interface. This is what your end users want. They want a responsive look and feel the same as they're greeted by when they go out there to deal with an application like an Amazon or an Uber or their bank even sometimes. You know, I've seen some pretty nice bank interfaces. A couple of mine surprise me every once in a while. But with this interface, you have the ability to come in here and easily manage it. I'm not an HTML guy. I want to learn, but, you know, my creativity stops after I draw the little stick man. I can come in here and change up this code and the look and feel if I want to go, oh, you know, I don't want this little logo up there. I want to go in here and go grab a logo, insert an image from maybe my existing catalog, or upload an image. Very easy to come in here, drag and drop it on there, and make it happen. You know, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes with all the code, but if I do, I know I can change it, enhance it, look it up, make this really become much more rapidly responsive look and feel to what I want with the organization. A lot of organizations have that nice look and feel to their web page and web presence. This could be that same look and feel, you know, capture that kind of information that's out there in that style sheet, bring it in here and go clean it up, modernize it, make it look what they're used to seeing when they go to their own company website. And I love that about it. You know, I don't have to know coding. That's a big savings right there. The more I do know about coding, the better I can do things. But again, it's HTML. Yeah, I'm sure I can grab a HTML for Dummies book and learn. The thing that surprised me, like, what's padding? I was like, oh, it's the space between the spaces. And I was like, oh, okay. Somebody had to explain that to me. Now I know, and now I know how to adjust these things and really edit the components. I can also go beyond. So I'm not locked into just data sources that are in EasyVista. You know, I can link into a lot of social sites and information, other data stores that I can add in here. So if I was bringing in information, maybe from my telephony system, wait times, I want that displayed on my self-service because somebody may be in there and they may be going, oh wait, there's no wait time. Let me go ahead and pick up the phone and call if that's the way they want to communicate it. Or if they look at it and go, that's a 3-minute wait time, let me just type this up and send it in. This depends, but you're addressing their needs and what you want to give them information-wise about what they can do.
And Stephen, we had a question from John, and you may have answered this already just now, but in that interface, could the I have an idea option link to a SharePoint Yammer feed or similar in Office 365? And he thinks that maybe the HTML option may be the answer to that. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, anything that's basically web accessible would be a way to do that. So if you had something like Yammer or maybe just a form on SharePoint where people wanted to submit to it and you wanted to link to it, definitely you can. Again,
any other questions?
Go
ahead. John says, great, thank you, by the way. He says thank you. So.
There's actually, I don't think I have a Yammer feed in here, but there are a lot of widgets and tools in here that get you to other things, and building them out, always nice. They're always adding new feature functionality. I can't say what's about to happen because they're not announcing it yet, but this interface, I'll give you, they got let's call him a hot shot HTML guy in their development group. Very, very young, very full of very innovative ideas. I know that's a lot of varies, but they kind of let him go with this and are going to be adopting some of that new technology and capability that he's bringing in that's kind of cutting edge to be another layer on top of this, taking it to another level. And again, with their mobile digital service approach, it makes this very user-friendly and very capable as an interface, because a lot of times this is what the end user experiences. Like I said, I'm still in awe of this. I love it. It's so simple. You know? Any other questions?
Awesome.
How-tos?
You know, and I've heard them talking about the changes last year. They were talking about some of the stuff they're bringing. So John has a question. Can he show the project section a bit, unless I missed it earlier? Curious how this would compare with existing PM tools.
It's not something I would replace Microsoft project necessarily with. It's got a lot of the core capabilities, but it's not necessarily something that you could, I would say, go really whole company on. Let's give it a project template to do. Standard project, next. Project name. Status, life cycle basically, who's going to be adminning it, type. So these are a lot of the drop-down lists that build the information. I'm clicking on them really to kind of show you the information. If you're going through and building this, you know, you're going to know it's a hardware deployment and you're going to type in hardware. And then you could drill down to it. Duration of the day, workload, location information, department description. I can put that information in there. And let me go ahead and finish that out. Project number, that's just an auto-incremented number for it. Builds out that project. Now, I've got the real information, the behind the scenes, the synthesis, the planning, the tasks, the milestones that are part of it. Again, very feature-rich for project management. And if you're using Microsoft Project, it's probably comparable to what you can do in IT. If you're using project management in a broader scope in the organization, it may not have all the capabilities. That's something we'd kind of need to examine in depth with, you know, IT's needs and your project management personnel to find out if it suits all their needs. I've had a couple clients who were coming off of very simple project management tools and went, yeah, more than we're ever going to use. And then I've had a discussion with somebody who was using several project management tools and said, doesn't come up to what we need completely. So, again, pretty good depth, I think, for a lot of what IT looks at for project management. Again, any other questions, Rich? Or I know we're
You've answered the questions, and we've actually run out of time. And folks, I want to thank you for your time today and some really good questions there. Took it in a couple different directions, so thank you for that. If you do have any other further questions, please take the time to email us at info@flycastpartners.com. That's info@flycastpartners.com, and we'll get an answer to you within 5 business days, or simply pick up the phone and dial 844-FLYCAST. That's 844-359-2278, 844-359-2278, and we'll get the answers for you. Stephen, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to show us how different EasyVista can be from some of the other products out there. And everyone, enjoy the rest of your week.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rich. Everybody have a great day.